Hi and welcome to the video. Now in this video we're going to combine two very interesting tools. We're going to look at Ancestry Pro Tools and specifically the reporting functionality, and we'll also see how we can take that into ChatGPT and do some amazing things with that. Now with Ancestry Pro Tools, it is an extra $10 a month subscription. I've made a video about this. You don't necessarily need to pay for it every month. And then for ChatGPT, we'll be using the Plus version, which is version 4. That's $10 a month. But again, with all these tools, just pay for the month you need and don't pay for a whole year. It gets very expensive that way. So first we'll go into Ancestry and see how we can generate a report using Pro Tools. So here we are, Ancestry, and this is my 6th great-grandfather, Stephen Bousfield. And what we're going to do is we're going to run a report directly from here. So if I click on Charts and Reports, I'm going to see this is part of Pro Tools by seeing the PRO in green. And we're going to do a descendancy from Stephen, but let's make that 7 generations, so we've got quite a lot of information to go to. You can see that's about 4 pages when we're printed out. Fairly tight stuff, fairly difficult to read in fact. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to download that, and then we'll use that in ChatGPT. So let's download it first of all. I'll probably go to my downloaded folder, and then we've got a little bit of housekeeping to do. First of all, ChatGPT doesn't recognize Ancestry's PDF, and I'll show you how that happens shortly. So what we'll do is we'll convert that into a Word document, convert this into a Word document. It will make it easier for you to use in the long run anyway, and we can do that simply by going to Adobe and using their free PDF to Word converter as shown here. So now we have the Word document. It's the same as the PDF, but it's now in Word format. Well, before we go to ChatGPT, we need to create a sign-on for those people who don't have an account. So we go to this log-on screen and we create an account. You can create it with Google, you can create it with Facebook, you can use your email. ChatGPT 3.5, which is a free version, in fact you don't even need a login to use that, is very, very feature rich anyway, but we're going to use ChatGPT 4. And one of the key reasons is ChatGPT 4 allows you to load documents up. And this is something that you'll be able to use as a genealogist to use loading documents up. Now it normally can read any PDF, but for some reason Ancestry has labeled their PDFs in a certain way that I can't read it with ChatGPT. So we said earlier we just need to convert that to a document file. So here we are in my actual conversation with ChatGPT that I recorded earlier. As you can see, the first thing I did was load up my Word document. What I've asked ChatGPT to do is please read and summarize the attached document. Now if you remember, it was just 4 pages of descendancy. There wasn't any information to it, it was just people. So ChatGPT goes and looks at the document and it gives me a nice summary of what it is. So I can describe it. It actually goes back and understands it starts in 1680, it understands where it starts, multiple generations. So it understands, without me telling what it is, it understands what kind of document it is. Now I can have a conversation with AI. It understands the document. Now I can ask it to do anything, almost anything I want it to do with it. And it's up to you if you're using this to experiment. There's no wrong way of using this. Do remember though, and it's highlighted at the bottom, that these AIs can make mistakes. So always double check your work, so to speak. So first thing I did was ask ChatGPT, hey, list the surnames that are in this document and tell me how many times they're mentioned. And ChatGPT goes off, reads the document. Again, it's the same old document that came out of Ancestry. I've not done anything. It doesn't know, but it can identify what words are surnames. And that's really, really complicated if you think about it. Something that doesn't know what that document is can understand what the surnames are. And it goes through, and clearly this is my Bousfield line by the number of people from Bousfield family that's in there, and it goes through all the surnames. So that's very good, and I can output this now to a document. Please, I said, please sort it and put it in a Word document for me. And so ChatGPT comes back, and remember, this is like your assistant here. I'm having a conversation with it. It tells me I've sorted the surnames by a number of mentions from high to low and put that in the document for you. Now you can download it using the link below. We have the people, so let's talk about the areas that this covers. And again, You can use your imagination here, but I want to know not just the locations, but I want them grouped by area. So please list the primary locations grouped by area. Now I'm not telling ChatGPT what an area should be. It's understanding what the areas are. So ChatGPT comes back and says the primary locations mentioned, and it breaks them out by Westmoreland, Lancashire, Yorkshire, and other international locations. And again, remember, all this ChatGPT has to go with is the lines of information I fed it from Ancestry. So maybe I want to know a little bit more about one of the locations. So I said, tell me more about Orton. ChatGPT basically said, look, I've searched 4 sites, and we can get the 4 sites here. We can see what the reference is. So if I need to go and reference this work later on, I can see where ChatGPT has found this for, and it describes Orton very, very well. It's a small village in Westmoreland, Cumbria now. So that's great. I'm finding more and more information about this, and I can update my ancestry overview of Stephen and my other relatives with this information. But one thing I wanted to do, and many people want to do, is I want to write a short story to share with my relatives. So I talked to ChatGPT and said, I want to write a short story about my biosphere relatives using the document that I've given you. I want to include historical events and local information. Would you please start by producing a draft summary? I don't want it to go off and just create a story. I want to see what it's going to do. So it said, sure, here's a draft summary, and it gives me some information, and it's very picturesque, if you like, in its language. And again, this is not to replace what you're going to do. This is to get you past the white document, blank document, help you gather your thoughts. So it's giving me some review, and it talks about marriage and deaths. So that sounds good enough to me. So I said, great, go ahead and create the story. But one thing I can do with all the AIs, instead of me just asking them questions, I can say, listen, before you go and start doing that work for me, do you have any questions for me before you begin? So ChatGPT says, before I begin crafting your story about the Bowsfield family, here's some of the questions that could help enrich the narrative. And it goes on about character, historical events, anything I'd like to include. Now, I would normally go then and include what I want to include in this story. But to save some time, I've said, apart from the Bowsfields being yeoman farmers, I'll leave it to you to decide the answer to the question. So I'm basically telling ChatGPT just to make stuff up. And here's the story. Just go ahead and story. So it creates a short story. Now, obviously, a lot of this is not what I would use in a story, but it's good information. It gives me somewhere to start. But one thing it does, it says, okay, they gather every year at Orton Scar. Well, we're spread around the world. We don't gather anywhere. So I said, we don't gather every year. We have dispersed around the country. Please correct the draft. And we can go backwards and forwards a number of times, so it's corrected the draft here. As you can see, though the Bowsfields are dispersed across the country. Now, this is just a very, very narrow snapshot of what you can do with ChatGPT and AI. So remember, let's go through the steps again. When I have Pro Tools and I have ChatGPT 4, which are both subscribed membership and are both $10 a month. And again, please don't pay for either of those for a year. Just use them as you need to. I downloaded a report from Ancestry Pro Tools, changed that from a PDF into Word, and then load it in ChatGPT, and then ask ChatGPT to work with me on that document. Now, I can use any Word document or any PDF. It doesn't need to be Ancestry, and I'll be producing some videos about we can use different PDFs from different software tools. But I wanted to get this out because I know a lot of people are struggling with the information you can get out of Ancestry. It doesn't seem a lot, but we can turn those small reports into a lot of information. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the video and you found it interesting the way we can combine AI and genealogy. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. It really will help me bring some more videos to life on this channel. I'll bring about 3 or 4 a month if I possibly can. In any way, good luck with your research, and please try to use AI as part of your research assistant. I'm sure you'll be really impressed with results. Take care. Have a great day.